What's going on, you guys? It is Isaac. Welcome back to another horror related video. Today we're going to be talking about the scariest real life Halloween horror stories. All the stories in this video are going to be 100% real and true, and I thought we would just get back into the spooky Halloween type stories just to get back into the spooky season type of vibe. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's get straight into these stories. Number 1. Taking place October 31st, 1974, this well-known real-life Halloween horror story is the legend of always check your candy in real life. There is a reason behind why this saying exists. This story has Ronald O'Brien, a father with 2 children, taking his 2 kids trick-or-treating throughout a Pasadena, Texas neighborhood. After a neighbor failed to answer the door, the kids grew impatient and ran to the next house. Ronald ended up giving his 2 children 5 pixie sticks. Ronald said he got it from the occupant of the household who did not answer. Later that night, before bed, Ronald's son Timothy asked to eat some candy, and Ronald handed him the pixie stick. After Timothy ate the candy, he complained of its bitter taste and did not finish the candy. Timothy then soon after started to complain of stomach pains. Timothy then ran to the bathroom and began puking and convulsing. Timothy died no more than an hour later en route to the hospital. Timothy's death later garnered great concern throughout the neighboring areas, and candy was sent into the local police to be tested, which failed to show any poisons or tampering with said candy. Ronald O'Brien was not considered a suspect until the pixie stick Timothy had eaten tested positive for potassium cyanide. 5 children were at risk of eating said candy, but no other children consumed it. They grew even more suspicious of Ronald after they learned no households they visited were handing out pixie sticks. Police came to the conclusion Ronald attempted to murder his children to collect money from their life insurance policies, and they believed he gave other children the poison candy to cover up his crimes. Ronald was then arrested for Timothy's murder. He was arrested on November 5th, 1974. He was then charged for 1 count of murder and 4 counts of attempted murder. At a later date, on June 3, 1975, he was sentenced to death by electrocution. Number 2. This next story takes place in Delaware on October 17, 2005. There was a gnarly supposed Halloween prop of a woman hanging from a tree. Many passerbys saw this so-called prop for hours and didn't question it further, until it was soon after learned this wasn't any prop. A 42-year-old woman climbed up a tree in view of a busy street. She hung herself the night before around 9 p.m. She was found dangling 15 feet above the ground. Many thought it was a Halloween prop or even a prank, until authorities received a call around 11 in the morning the next morning. They then discovered the hanging body of this woman and ruled it to be a suicide. Number 3. This next story takes place at a Halloween party in San Antonio, Texas on October 31st, 2016. Several uninvited men showed up to this party causing issues, one dressed as the iconic horror movie icon Freddy Krueger from the film A Nightmare on Elm Street. When these uninvited people at the party were trying to be forcibly removed by partygoers, the man dressed as Freddy took out a shotgun around 5 a.m. and began to open fire on partygoers. The man shot and struck 5 partygoers at this party, and all suspects then fled the party and crime scenes. All gunshot victims later recovered from these injuries. The latest update to this horrific crime shows that the main suspect who fired his weapon was caught in October of 2017. This suspect was a 22-year-old man. He faces charges of 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He is still residing in jail at this time. His sentence is either pending or not publicly known at this time. Number 4. This story might be one of the most disturbing ones yet. Viewer discretion is advised. This story takes place October 31st, 2010, around 1:30 p.m. as an Ohio team named Devin was coming home from Sunday morning church service and noticed the house was eerily more quiet than usual, as his family should be home. He went to his parents' room and ended up finding them laying there still on the bed with the covers covering them. He thought it was nothing more than a joke until he uncovered them from their bed sheets and saw their lifeless, bloodied bodies. He ran from the home and went to his aunt to call 911. It was figured out by authorities that his two parents and stepbrother were all shot to death, and the suspect was Devin's stepbrother William Liskey. He was known to have many violent outbursts toward the family before this incident, yet the family never gave up on William, and he was earlier treated in 2007 for schizoaffective disorder. A neighbor also recalled hearing noises that morning that sounded like gunshots. Later on in 2011, William pled guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder. In exchange, he did not get the death penalty. The man who committed these horrific crimes was later found dead in his cell due to a self-inflicted wound. Number 5. This next story takes place in Long Island just one day before Halloween 2014. A 35-year-old man named Derek Ward killed his mother, 65-year-old Patricia Ward. He sat there with her mutilated body for a few minutes until he brung her body outside and kicked her decapitated head 20 feet away. Initially, neighbors thought it was a sick Halloween prank until it was discovered it was the real lifeless corpse of Patricia. Derek soon after jumped in front of an oncoming train, ending his own life. Derek's sister described him as a sick individual who struggled with his psychiatric health for some time, but never showed signs of any violent outbursts. Patricia was known to be a well-liked and respected woman throughout her community, and they mourned her death after. And that'll conclude this video of the top 5 scariest real-life Halloween horror stories. If you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be sure to drop a part 2 soon if you guys want me to. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope y'all have a wonderful day and a good spooky season. I'll see y'all next time.